everybody. Welcome to This Week with us here at the Keep. Thanks for joining in with our adventure. Gosh, it's been a week. It's been a week and a half. I don't think we have too awful many announcements or things to cover. We hope everyone is staying safe and staying healthy. Yeah, let's go ahead and jump into the recap unless anybody else has anything to add.
I'm in my backyard. I'm not in the wilderness.
Good to know.
Just to be clear.
If we hear the random birdies or squirrels or whatever, we'll attribute that to you.
Yes.
Awesome.
It's ambient.
Just to be clear, though, like I'm not going off to crazy places. I'm just in the backyard.
All right. So last we left our heroes, y'all had been on your search for the third journal, attempting to retrieve that to restore the Sanctum. You had made your way from Grimhold to Whitebrand, having a number of encounters and conversations along the way. Arriving in the city of Whitebrand, you were directed to the Beggar's Banquet, an inn near the city entrance. That's the word. Should not be that hard a word to find. It's going to be a good day. So near the city's entrance, you were directed to the Beggar's Banquet. After a bit of conversation, you split up to go start investigating the city this evening and attempt to gather whatever information you can. You spotted a notice about the Brotherhood's presence in the city that you also decided to investigate to the best of your ability. So you split up, you go looking. Rye and Hubbard went to the Golden Cog to make delivery and find whatever information there that they could. Val and Isadore attempted to go check out the library here in the city, ultimately finding it closed because of the late hour. Celius and Doran went to start questions in the tavern. We had a brief discussion with Soren here at the Beggar's Banquet, and started putting together bits and pieces of information about the Underlord and the sorts of things that might be in your path ahead of you. We'll go ahead and we'll pick up. Y'all have reunited later that evening and shared the tales of your various exploits. It is about probably between 10 and 11 at night at this point. Is there anything else you'd like to do tonight, or shall we take a long rest and jump into the next morning?
Well, when everybody gets back together, I would like to inform everybody. We found a little bit of information out about the Underlord. He likes to be given trinkets. He likes to be given things, trinkets, or perhaps tales, but if you're going to tell a tale, it has to be really good. Most of the half-orcs and monstrous type races in the city are possibly in his employ. And we heard about a half-elf named Fiskin who survived an encounter with the Underlord. So we could try to track him down and speak with him and see if he has any insights on what exactly we could do. So that's about what we discovered, unless I missed something going on.
Sounds about right.
So we discovered that this evening.
We've discovered something similar, darling. We were informed that it would be of use to go into Newton Press to see if perhaps we can find someone who has a connection with the Underlord. Maybe the Siskin would be a good person to start with. And then the other thing, which, should you pursue the Golden Cog any further, apparently it is a family business, and there's a gentleman by the name of Roman who is no longer a part of the business. Now, it's unclear whether he's no longer a part because he has perished, or if it's more along the lines of he left at some point in time. But should you come across him, he might be a useful source of information on their company, on their business.
Well, I feel like I saw temples as we came into town, so I feel as though there's a a temple that I should go see myself, given my duties to the church, as it is. But I would like to go take care of that, but I feel as though perhaps meeting Fiskin, we should go there as a group. It may be best served. Now, Quesator, Val, how is your endeavors into the library? Able to find any information there? Quesator, we cannot hear you.
Check y'all's mics, guys.
Got it. It was relatively unfruitful. We got there a bit late. It was closed already.
Oh, well, so perhaps, I could go to go see the temple if perhaps you would like to go back to the library with whoever you wish to take. And we could do a short break off in the morning, meet up again, and then in the afternoon track down this Fiskin character and any other names we might encounter on our morning's endeavors.
Sonix, I think I'd prefer to accompany you to the religious quarter. Perhaps Rai, who seems very learned, could help Solix with his research endeavors.
You mean Quesator? I don't do research.
Quesator, sorry.
I'm happy to assist as needed. It's been a good 14 years since I've done anything like that, since my apprenticeship, but if that's what you need, I'm more than happy to assist.
That's right. And you're acquiring things for the library. Does that only entail objects, or does it sometimes include information?
Typically, it's retrieving books or items such as the circlet that you're looking for. I don't particularly come across information or seek out information, but if I find something of use or of note, I will pass it along to librarians who, particularly my cousin's study, has got the easiest access to the Senior Librarian Council. So sometimes I come across information, but it's not typically what I seek out. I could also inquire if that is something you would like. I can inquire to see if they have any further information they could provide.
Are we right now specifically just looking for information on this? What's his name?
Underlord.
Underlord. Is that the only thing we're seeking?
I'd like to know what we're going into.
Right.
Well, I don't think we have anything else on our list that I can think of that requires research. So I suppose, yes, really, he's been there, anything of that nature.
Right, these books that we are seeking out from our sanctum that were the ties between worlds were in a room referred to as the library. Did those come from your sanctum?
Lauren, would I know that?
You would know that each sanctum has their own way of condensing the information. That books and journals are a very common artifact that sanctums use to store this information. You have also seen various, or you've heard tell of various sanctums that use things like crystals to store the information, or some other arcane means. The fact that it's a book, you know that the library is one of the oldest living sanctums, and it has had impact on other sanctums. This could very well be a carryover.
It's possible. I know some histories of the different sanctums. That is something that we learned during our apprenticeship. So it's possible, entirely possible, but tracing the actual lineage of a sanctum is something that I don't necessarily specialize in. So there might be a connection there. I would be surprised if there was not some sort of connection. I mean, it is a library after all, darling. But I couldn't say for certain.
It may just be coincidental, if nothing else.
Oh, darling, the longer I'm in this, the less I believe in coincidences, but sure.
Of course. Well, there's no opposed to perhaps splitting into two groups in the morning. We'll have one heading towards the holier sector and the other one heading towards the learned side. We'll split up in the morning, meet up for lunch, and then discuss what to do for the afternoon. Does that sound agreeable?
Yes, darling.
Aye.
Alright, well then, let's get to sleep then. And in the morning we will set off on our quest to wherever else, and, unless someone else can think of another avenue that we could take in the morning for a third party to split off, but sleep on it and we'll reconvene in the morning. I would like to do just a quick bit. I'd like to find some pouches for coin, but something that should be easy enough to find on my way. Nothing over.
There's no need at this point.
Can't think of anything we need mission specific.
I think if we're going to offer tribute or entertainment to this Underlord, then I would suggest that maybe we visit the craftsmen or other shops.
What I'm hoping to get from Fiskin is I'm hoping perhaps in our discussion with the half-elf Fiskin, he can tell us what he took, because he survived an encounter, so he may have some insight on what type of trinkets we might need to bring. And hopefully, perhaps in your all's research, you may find out more information as well as to
That's what I wanted to talk about last week.
what an appropriate homage would be. Well, Doran, would you like to go with the researchers then?
That was Garrett talking.
Oh, well.
Aye, sounds like a good idea.
Alright, then let's go to bed, wake up, and go do stuff.
Remember, it's the garbage Irish accent you're looking for.
This is not the accent you're looking for.
You go ahead, you go down through the luminescent crystals that line the rooms and take an evening's rest. You go ahead and mark off the long rest. Your spell slots are restored.
So,
All the
when we
benefits.
get to the room,
Can I add the caterpillar to my inventory?
Unfortunately, I don't think it'll survive long in a desert environment like you're in.
Oh, I can't use it like a Pokemon?
Unfortunately not.
You don't have a place to keep it.
Especially since I'm not a dwarf in the fantasy world. Or am I?
When we get to the room, I'd like to talk to Kaisator and just ask for some insight or direction, or if he has any way to maybe help, because he is a learned man, because I seem to be struggling over this puzzle for some stupid reason.
I'll also offer to put an alarm in people's rooms if they want it.
Are we sharing rooms?
And that's alarming.
We have... How many rooms did we get? We got
3 rooms? 4?
No, we got 3 rooms. We got 3 rooms. Rye has her own, and I believe it's Val, myself, and Doran in a room. And Kaisator and...
Albert are in the other.
I think that's what we decided.
Ow.
Okay. Alright. Hubbard, you and Kazator retreat to your room for the evening.
Cool. Can I take it from here?
Go for it.
Kazator, I'm curious. I seem to be struggling over a puzzle that I was given at the Naiads when we killed that creature in the pond. And I've been working on it for a good long while now, and I'm still unable to crack this code. So I didn't know if you might have any type of insight or be able to give any type of direction. I know you're definitely someone who has probably more knowledge than I do in many different ways. I didn't know if you might be able to share that or impart anything with it.
Is it something you're just wanting a fresh pair of eyes to look at, or more to help you get past your roadblock?
Hopefully you get past my roadblock. I don't know. It feels like I've just not really been inspired to get this thing taken care of. I had to do it, mate. I'm sorry.
And it's just a little puzzle ball.
No, it's not little. This is a major puzzle.
I'm saying in size, small puzzle ball, right?
Yes. Small in size, large in its vexing nature. Been over a month. Dad begun frickin' month.
You've been working on it that long? Since the Naiad?
Maybe.
Yeah.
It seems this is not your area of expertise, Albert.
I'm not going to disagree as much as I want to.
Yes,
throughout time, a lot of times, you surround yourself with people who are really good at the things you suck in. And yeah.
Yes, I do believe I can offer some aid. And I will... This is before bed, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, and I'll cast inspiration or give inspiration to work on it. And I'll just... Come on, solve this puzzle ball.
It's late. Off this game.
Or is he really on it?
Well played, sir.
As inspiring as that can be.
Alright, go ahead, Halberd, make your dexterity check and add the inspiration, which is a D8.
Okay. So dexterity?
Dexterity.
Modified 20.
Nice. As you let your mind drift on the music provided by Kazator, something in your hands relaxes and it just shifts slightly. And there's a click as something falls into place. You look down at your hands, and the second of the pieces has joined into the first bundle, the first two that had already combined. You are halfway done with your puzzle. You can see that the pieces are starting to line up. You see that the general shape of it is going to be not exactly circular. The seams and the slight carvings that you had first started to notice when pieces started to click together are becoming more prominent, and they're starting to take on definite shapes. There is going to be something inherently arcane with this once the pieces fit together properly. You can't read any of the runes, you don't know what the shape of it is going to be at this point, but there's going to be something happening once you complete it.
Do I get the feeling this would be something that would be easy enough to take a apart again, easily. Or do I get the feeling that once this is joined together, it's joined together for good?
With the pieces that you have put together, there has been a fastening, a combining. You haven't tried to force them apart, but there's a solidness to the piece that you can tell once the pieces are combined is going to take significant force, if it even can, be torn apart.
Alright, I'm going to start working on it for right now.
Okay.
I'm gonna summon a dragon or something. Summons your.
Oh, come on,
That's how
would
we
I
get
do that
Kyra back.
to you guys?
It's the void card.
Yes, you would. Specifically, you would do that to me.
Weird bird.
I mean, come on. Dragons are your favorite enemy.
They
It's gotta
are.
stay out somehow.
I am not at all complaining about this. At all. I might die,
Kill dragons.
but what a way to go.
Alright, so, anything else y'all want to do tonight, or shall we go ahead and jump to the morning?
Not die.
Jump to the morning.
Sleepy time.
Sleep time. The night passes quietly. Val, you are a little uneasy in your sleep. Underground in a dark place, you are restless and have trouble with the memories that rise up. But surrounded by your friends, you manage to reassure yourself. You make it through the night, still gaining the benefits of a long rest. Everybody arises in the morning, ready for the day ahead. What would you like to
Wake
do?
up all like cuddled up on Doran.
Well,
I'll make
suppose, I guess Holy Bros and whoever else will make our way to the food. This is over breakfast. We will make our way to the temples. And if anyone wish to join us, alright, Halbert, you'll come with us. And then I suppose the other three of you will go to the library.
Sounds amenable.
The plan?
Sure.
Glorious. Then let us away.
Away.
Walking, I would like to be close enough to keep an eye on them, but far enough to not be associated directly or indirectly with the Paladin of Bahamut as we move in.
He's embarrassed of you.
That's fair. And then, yes, Lauren, on the way there, I will buy whatever and buy as coin pouches as I can.
On the main road north, through New Point District, heading north through Artist Alley. Right where Artist Alley meets the Old Quarter, which is the district where all the temples are. Halberd, you're familiar with this because you came here through this way last night. This is the Old Quarter is the same district with the address where the Brotherhood is at. But close to the border, the between Artist Alley and the Old Quarter, there is a large shop front. There's a colorful banner with gold and white and blue lines on it, proclaiming this shop to be the Golden Fox. Now, it boasts a wide array of goods. There are several people in the street calling attention to it. You pretty lady, you kind sir, come and visit, see our marvelous goods. If you want to go shopping, you guess this is probably one of the places in the city to do it.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll go in there and just buy a bunch of bags.
Alright. You are greeted very kindly by an older, middle-aged human woman with golden skin and dark wavy hair that's loosely bound back from her face, in a lavishly embroidered blue dress, belted with a copper and silver chain belt around her waist. She introduces herself. Hold up. Let me pull this up real quick. She introduces herself as Sabina and asks, "How may I be of assistance, good sir?"
Well, I'm just looking for a bunch of coin purses.
"Oh, certainly. Our leather goods are right over this way." And she leads you around the corner, and there's a wide array of various leather belts and pouches. There are some that are more elaborately decorated, some that are more simple in nature.
How many of the simple ones are there?
20, 30.
How much is each one?
Say what?
How much is each one?
These, you can see, look at the quality of these. The stitching inside are quite fine. And she's pulling them off and showing them to you. As for these, a silver a piece. Just a silver a piece.
Well, and how many you said there were 30 of them?
Yes.
What if I were to buy all of these for 12 gold?
You're making me math this.
The total would be 15. No. I messed that up. Hold on. Let me redo the math. There's 30 to be 3 gold. Okay.
Yeah, you just offered her 4 times what they're
I
worth.
messed up the math.
Yeah.
Let's see. 2 gold. What if I were to buy all of these for 2 gold? There we go.
I'll take the first offer.
A silver each is quite already the lowest we can go. The quality of these is assured. Look at the leather, the fine leather inside. Unfortunately, a silver a piece we must take. Yes.
Well, it doesn't hurt to ask. All right, then. I will give her 3 gold then, and I will buy all 30 of them.
Okay.
I
will put each one of my on my belt line. Just I have a special one for gold, a special one for silver, a special one for copper, and all the rest of them are just going into the bag.
It's like those little change things you see at some restaurants.
Little change person.
Yeah.
Exactly. Alright, that's all. We can go to the temple. I just wanted to.
Now I can think of the subjects on skates.
Now I can organize my money better.
Fabulous. So you exit Golden Fox. The colors in the street are, "Oh, kind sir, have a nice day. Come back again. And you head a little bit north into the old quarter, into the main thoroughfare through this area, and the temple district, where the majority of the temples and religious practices seem to take place, is before you.
Right. I would like to go to the. I would like to go find the Temple of Bahamut, but Val, what exactly are you looking for here?
Well, looking around, what deities do I notice?
Make a perception check.
Zeus is there. He's hanging out with Poseidon.
Right.
Bahamut rolls up to the party.
Nice. 26.
Ooh! Yeah. Okay. It's more like which ones don't you notice. Prominently displayed, the largest temples in this area are the temples to Pelor and Arathis. And these two are not necessarily temples as you're used to seeing them, but more like temple compounds. There are multiple buildings that are marked with these symbols and the colors for these deities. By and large, the vast majority of people, foot traffic is moving into and out of these two places. You also see represented temples to Bahamut and Ayun, Ravenheim, and Marabi. You see temples to Corlon and Issus. And because of your high perception roll, You also see you do also see a couple of smaller temples that are not marked specifically, but you know that the colors and the patterns associated that are decorating these buildings are associated with Sayanine, with Pan, and the Traveler.
Alright, I'm gonna head over to the, towards the Sayanine temple.
Alright.
For now.
Solix, I'm gonna check in over here.
Very well.
You said you're heading towards the Temple of Bahamut.
Yes, I'll be there. Gonna go look around and ask them if they've seen any goings on with any Tiamat cult gatherings and such.
Alright, I'm sure my stop will take much less time than yours, so I'll meet you over there shortly.
Sounds good. I will see you there.
This is where I know the Temple of the Brotherhood is.
The Temple to the Brotherhood is offset a little bit from this main temple district. It's set on the back street, a little ways behind where you are at now. You gather that there are shrines to other less well-known deities, or I hesitate to call them cults, but less formally recognized religions scattered throughout this district also. And the Brotherhood seems to be more of that nature.
Yeah. I would like to start heading that direction while I'm walking. Just look for anything that might actually stand out in regards to, say, Tiamat, more specifically. But definitely keeping my eyes open for the Brotherhood and what's out there. So.
Alright. So you start to wander. Val, we'll go ahead and we'll start with you at the Temple of Sayanine. And you, as you approach, you are, you're welcomed in to this space. There is a coolness to the air. There is a sense of, I hesitate to say moisture, but a cool, you know, like when you walk into a bigger store and there's a blast of wind that blows over you and it helps with the keeping the place insulated and a steady temperature inside. There's not a physical flash of wind, but there's a steadiness to your spirit that comes as you come inside this door, and it's like a sense of homecoming. Inside, it is darker and cool, but still airy and welcoming. The anxiety that usually rises up within you from a enclosed space is entirely absent here. It's fairly empty. You see one elven male who is lighting a candle and in the process of what looks to be starting a prayer at the front of the sort of chapel area, which is directly ahead of you as you go in.
Does it look like there are others that he's leading in the prayer, or is it just him by himself?
He is the only one that you see.
Keeping in mind a previous conversation, I'll head towards him and just place a hand on his shoulder.
Alright. He ceases his prayer after a moment. There's a pause as he approaches a stopping point. There's a moment of silence, and then he stands up from his kneeling position and turns and faces you. Greetings. How may I be of assistance?
My name is Val, a cleric of the Lady of the Moon. I seek, the words escape me, enlightenment, and possibly her blessing. And I'll show my holy symbol.
He nods, and the favor of her light does rest on you indeed. Please, this way. And he leads you to a side door that you hadn't noticed earlier that had been disguised by a clever shaping of the walls, and it seems like the layout of this temple is a little bit deceptive, that there's more to it than initially meets the eye. He leads you to the side rail and down a short passage into a much larger area. There are cushions here and a small table with various refreshments set aside. What sort of enlightenment do you seek?
Excuse me. With that, I'll switch my armor to that of the clothing of a cleric of Sammy.
Magical.
Alright. It is magical armor. He nods.
And then, go ahead.
Go ahead. You first.
After I do that, I'm going to turn to the room and specifically not targeting my armor. I'm gonna cast Dispel Magic.
Okay. There is a brief heat wave, almost, in the far end of the room. Another door had been under an illusion. The illusion dissipates for a moment. You see that the door is there, and then there is a brief flow of crystal, and the illusion resumes. Hides the door again at this point. The elven man smiles. I spoke to you when I said her favor rested on you. Please, be seated. My name is Garden Vaidala, and you truly do walk in our ways.
I apologize for the theatrics, but we've been dealing with quite a bit over the last couple months. And the possibility of spies or scrying magic was too great to take the risk.
As you say.
We're traveling, I guess, the cave is north now?
The cave is northwest.
Northwest. We'll be traveling shortly northwest to the Cave of the Underlord. And I was hoping to find guidance and or information on how to retrieve what I need in return.
You walk a dangerous road. I have heard of many who take that path who do not return.
Yeah, we kind of got the same information. Is there any enlightenment that you or Our Lady may give me ins to how to not join that number.
I can certainly ask in my prayers for you. I have received no direct guidance prior to this. Through the lady herself may be the best for you to ask. If she has brought you on this road, if she has brought you to this point, surely she has equipped you to complete the task to the best of your ability.
Yeah.
Still, if you would join me in...
Good.
If you would join me in a prayer, I will ask on your behalf and see what the answer may be.
It's a trap.
Always a trap.
Sorry, Admiral. You'll be fine.
Are we sure he's no?
No, Lauren's DMing. There's no guarantee of that whatsoever.
So do you agree? Will you join him in his prayer? He
I will.
gestures you towards some of the cushions.
Alright, I'll join him on the cushions.
He brings out his own... He brings out his own symbol, and it's slightly different to yours. The emphasis is on the moon itself, and as he takes a seat, and he sets it on the ground in front of him, he begins to pray, this panting under his breath, this seeking of divine guidance. Let's see if anything happens. There's a coolness that fills the room, and a quiet shine as the lights dim. There's a faint, almost like a sensation of walking through a fog, as you begin to feel a growing presence. He continues his prayers, and then comes a moment of silence. The feeling dissipates, fading until it's gone. And then he opens his eyes. Though I have received no direct guidance for you, for which I feel almost as though I must apologize, the lady's favor rests upon you. I do feel that there is darkness in your future. A feeling I cannot shake. There's something... Forgive me, I do not know how better to explain it. A growing presence.
That's good news.
Right.
A challenge, perhaps, in your path.
Narrow my eyes at that one. Feels like life.
If you would come back tomorrow, though I have received no guidance for you, there is one who is gifted in divination. She will come tomorrow if I ask for her, and she may be able to provide better guidance. Will you come?
I will.
Tomorrow, shortly after dawn, I will ask that she is here.
I appreciate your assistance and your guidance. and I'll leave a coin piece in the little alms box. And give him a bow and make my way out. When I get to the door, I'm gonna kind of do a look left, look right, and change my clothes, my armor to a more of a hooded cloak.
Okay.
I'll pull the hood over my head and make my way to the Temple of the Traveler.
Alright, we will get to that in just a moment.
Yes, called it.
Wes, what was it you were saying last game about us only being here for a night?
Who said that?
Wes did.
Roll to leave this evening.
But I realized it was a far-fetched. It was very far-fetched.
Halbert's whole goal now is just to leave by tonight.
Right.
Alright. I just realized I pointed at all of you. Y'all cannot see me. Wes!
What, you?
The Temple of Bahamut is set up more easily defensible than most of the other temples here in this area. There's a definite militaristic air. You do notice it is one of the smaller temples as you approach this particular section. It is not as well established or widely visited as the temples to Paylor and Arathis.
Right.
This is notable and not usual from what you have seen in other cities.
Right. Going up to it, would the size denote that it would have, is it big enough to have its own dedicated, information center, like some of the bigger temples would have, or do I think it's too small for that?
It's probably too small for that.
Okay. Right, then yeah, I'll just go in and see what's there.
Alright. You are greeted just inside the door by a human man in leather armor, dark skin, dark hair, cut very close to his head. He greets you, says, welcome to the Temple of Bahamut. How may I be of service?
Good day, and his blessings upon you. Where is your head priest at?
Currently I am the only priest in residence at this point. May I aid you in some
Well, then
way?
you, What's that? Lauren, I didn't get that one. You try that again.
You froze a little bit. What do you?
It's great. Great time to talk to me. Yeah, I froze a little bit. I didn't hear what he said.
He's the only priest in residence. He's asking if he can assist you in some way.
Oh, right. Do you happen to know who I am?
I see from your armor you are some experienced adventurer, of course.
Oh.
You carry his symbol
Had
upon
my
you.
adventures, of course.
Devoted worshipper, perhaps.
Very devoted, and I'll pull out the writ of authority and hand it to him. Perhaps this will clear up some of your information that you seem to be lacking in.
He can't just name drop. He's got to show his certificate off.
He's flexing.
Yeah, right.
It's exactly what it
He
is.
gets the writ, and he starts reading it, and as he's reading it, his eyes get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger, and by the time he gets to the end, there's a small drop of sweat that starts trickling down his face. He hands it to you, and my sincerest apologies, my Lord Arbiter. Please do come in. How may I serve you, sir?
Well, if you don't mind, I'll be having that back now.
Alright. Welcome back. Thanks for being patient with us through our technical difficulties. You alright there, Garrett?
No, I'm not. I tried to fix it, and then I made it worse.
Sometimes it's just life. We deal with what we take, with what we can. We make do. We're good with it. Alright. Alright, Wes. You ready for this?
Yeah.
Alright. So, as he hands the writ back, his eyes go bigger and bigger as he's reading it, and he hands it back.
Ignore me.
If you insist.
There we go.
Says, by all means, my Lord Arbiter, please do come in right this way. And he's bowing sort of obsequiously, gesturing for you to come into the temple and to guide you around. And as he gestures you, and he says, my name is Raxley. Raxley I just forgot his last name. What's his last name?
Jones.
No.
Dang it.
Herbert.
My page back up. Give me just a moment, guys. Sorry.
Welcome to Port Royal, Mr. Smith.
Alright.
I'm not talking about bars, mate.
Raxley Vyara. Please do come in, please. And as you
Excellent.
As you enter the temple, it's a clean, small temple. It's been well kept, and he's explaining how he handles all of the training. Oh yes, he does, and it's a small congregation for sure. But those faithful worshippers, we do practice our militant skills every week, and I'm training them to the best of my ability, good sir. Please do understand that the majority of the people, the more aggressively minded people here in this town, they do prefer the worship of Pelor and Arathis, and we make do with what we can, and but we are sure the teachings are consistent with what is taught in Dragon Throne, good sir. And he's just explaining and going on, and he's leading you through the temple.
Very good. Well, I can see here that what you have laid out is well, good enough, I suppose. However, there are bigger matters at hand. You see, I am under the that the Queen of the Chromatics and her followers are on the move, you see. Things are happening, and it is becoming my job to step in, well, it is good that you are continuing your practices and your drills with those who are following, because I'm afraid a war might be coming before too long. And so while it is important that you continue those, I need you to stress on another matter, and that is the matter of gathering information on our enemy. You see, I have spoken with Bahamut himself, and he has informed me that our enemy is on the move. And, well, as nice that it is to know that we're getting divine information, we have to do our own groundwork, and I'm relying on the individual temples such as this one, with devout followers such as yourself, to gather that information.
Certainly, absolutely, sir. However we may be of service, of course we will, by all means, we will perform whatever task you need us to.
Excellent. Well, then the church itself, the archpriest, and myself, and Bahamut himself require that you continue to drill, and also seek out any and all information you may have on Tiamat and her followers. And whatever you may find, forward all of that information to Master Serendi and Dragon Throne. He will gather all the information there and forward it to who needs it.
Absolutely. You said we will send that info to Dragon Throne. Of course. And you can see that the longer this conversation is going on, like there's a steady stream of little sweat that's starting to bead on his brow, and he's nodding and agreeing with everything that you say. Make an insight check for me real quick.
Perfect.
He's actually.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's it. Okay, well, that was a natural 18 plus insight. I think that's a 23.
Ooh.
Yep, 23.
Golf clap.
Nice. Alright. This guy is... he will agree with everything you say to your face, and he is thinking, sort of in the back of his mind, of, okay, such a small group of people, like, there's not a whole lot. He's agreeing with his words and saying, yeah, no way, this is not going to happen with the rest of his body.
Oh, no, that's 100% what I'm gathering from this guy.
Straight up, pretty straight up a coward. He does not want to get involved with this. There's a lot he would do to try to avoid this particular situation.
Oh, yeah, no, we're 100% gathering on there's a war going on, and he's like, I didn't sign up for this. No, he's 100% doing that. Okay, alright. Now, you said you are the main, you're the one in residence, but surely you have other teachers, other followers here, besides yourself.
We have a small congregation. I am currently the only leadership that is provided for this temple. It is so distant, you understand, from Dragon Throne and the main area of worship. You understand it is a very small place.
Right. Well, in that case, I suppose everything relies on you. And as I've said, Bahamut has spoken with me, and as such, I am the hand of Bahamut.
Of course.
I'm afraid I need you to understand something very severe here. There is a war coming, and as we know, in such times of war, cowardice is, well, there's no time for it.
Flexing mode activate.
And especially with those who have considered themselves in a place of leadership, such as yourself. So it is highly important that you maintain a level of poise and bravery as you continue to train the followers here. I'm going to be going north for a little bit, and then, if everything goes well, I hope to come back here, if only for a little bit, to check up on the progress that you're doing in the training of the followers, and any information you may have gathered in that time. Now, I do hope that you will have a armament to show me, a display of some sort, and information in that time. A big city such as this, I'm almost certain that there are followers of Tiamat right here, in this very town, most likely in this district. So it's time for you to do your due diligence, discover what you can, and perhaps while doing that, this temple will grow to its appropriate size. The small size of this temple tells me that you have not been doing a good job of showing the true good nature of Bahamut. While these other deities that are prominent are good deities and are nice, you do know the history of this place. And as such, I should hope that you realize the importance of Bahamut's prominence in this region.
Oh, absolutely, good sir. But you must understand, we are such a newly established temple. It is only reasonable that there is such a small congregation at this point. You see, it is with the newly established, and it is a lifestyle change for much of the people.
Here's what's going to happen. You are going to stop cowering before me. Stop wringing your hands like that. It makes you look weak. You will stand up straight, you will address me proper, and as such you will address your congregation. You will become more prominent, or I shall have you replaced. A replacement can be sent from Dragonthrone, and your so deemed place of leadership will be nothing more than scrubbing out latrines until you learn how to better prove yourself as a follower of the great and powerful Platinum Dragon. This is a time of war and conflict, and your demeanor is not appropriate, nor do we have time for it.
As you talk, and as you lay into this guy, you see his hands drop by his sides, and there's a stiffening and a leaning away. Go ahead and make an intimidation check.
Okay.
This episode's title, The Flexing.
That was another natural 18 for 25.
Right.
I like this dice.
He's leaning away. His eyes just start they get really big, and he's just, certainly, sir, as you wish. I will endeavor to perform what you have asked. My greatest desire, of course, is to be of service to you and to the mighty Platinum Dragon himself. Yes, the information that you seek, truly here in this district, I will do to the best of my ability and to put together a display of skill for you to see upon your return. And when will that be?
Oh, that's uncertain, so just be ready. I would hate for you to have merely prepared something for my arrival. I'd rather see the progress you are making under the good nature of your own endeavors.
You see there's a slight sort of droop to his shoulders as he's realizing the enormity of this task. He has sort of prepared for himself in front of him. This is like, yes, of course. My Lord Arbiter, is there... And there's a pause and a slight shift in his demeanor. Is there truly to be a war?
I would really hope not. I am currently doing everything in my power to prevent it. But it is best to prepare with hopes that it never happens.
You see him, his hands start to come together, and he starts to lean over, and before he looks at you and drops them back down to his sides again. Truly, yes, avoiding a war would be in all of our best interests, I think we can agree. Certainly. Is there anything else that you wish to see before you take your leave, good sir?
I believe I have seen more than enough. So, I bid you good day, and I will be seeing you again. And I'll turn and walk out.
As you turn, you hear behind
As I walk out, I point at one of the candles and say, "That should be 2 inches over and lit at all times," and I'll just leave.
Of course. And he hurries over to go and fix it, and you head on out.
Hey, guys, remember that time Sully started a witch hunt?
Mm-hmm.
Totally just happened.
100%.
Can I just take a moment and just applaud Wes? That was very, very good.
Oh, yeah, this was your first time witnessing Sully exit his element, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yes, it definitely was.
Yeah. This is the one time where he's actually decent at something.
Too bad Ryan wasn't there for it.
I know. All right. Well,
I just watched the episode.
Alright. Halberd. While these two are going through their respective temples, what are you up to?
I'm walking the streets and I'm looking for the Brotherhood, kind of trying to do better than what I did last time, because that was rather pathetic. And just scoping out who's moving in and out and if there's leadership figures. And also just keeping my eyes open for any type of signs, potentially of Tiamat a little bit more boldly displayed, especially where Bahamut is not as prominent.
Okay. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Hold on.
There's no one.
I'll take that. A 24.
24. Alright. As you're walking the streets of Whitebrand, heading through this old quarter district, you find yourself a little bit off of the main road. In the eastern part of the district, close to where it borders with the Artist Alley, you find a neighborhood of smaller houses. There are some shrines and some small temples, and this is not far from where the address that you were scoping out last night was. At first, nothing seems to catch your eye. A couple of brightly colored curtains and banners, and a couple of different decorations that are posted on houses, and then you realize through most of this neighborhood there's a little bit of a theme. There's a red curtain glowing in the wind that catches your eye, and a little bit of a blue welcome mat sort of sat out in front of the doors, and various green curtains and white banners and black, and you realize that these 5 colors that Solex has informed you are strongly indicative of the chromatic colors of dragons, that they are pretty much the only colors in these very primary shades that you're seeing through this neighborhood. And there's people going about their day-to-day lives. There's not any great evil acts out on the street. There's nothing that people are doing specifically that catches your eye and alarms you. But the decorations and the colors in this more in this particular neighborhood, this particular section of town, just something to note.
That's intriguing. Most intriguing. So as I make my way around towards the Brotherhood Temple, just kind of staying off the beaten path, not drawing attention to myself. Do I see anything more as I just sit and kind of watch and nose around, meander around, and just see any type of leadership figure, or would there be anything, how would I put it? Would there be anything where I would see something stand out like the chromatic dragonborn that I saw last night? And as I see people moving into the Temple of Bahamut, the Brotherhood, or the area of the Brotherhood, I'd like to actually walk by a few of them and see. As I just sit and kind of watch it. Wow, I'm getting feedback pretty good.
Sorry. That was my thing messed up. You're good.
All right. I'd like to see when I walk by someone, kind of like what it when I shot the dragon dragonborn at the other temple of Bahamut, but he had an illusion on him. Would there be people milling about? In essence, would my eyes be getting a true picture of reality, or as I walk by, am I getting a picture that maybe things aren't exactly as they seem, because I'm now quite used to things not being as they seem?
As you're going through, and I'll let your previous perception check stand for this also. As you're walking through the streets and watching the specifically the, we'll call it a temple, but it's really a larger dwelling that was listed for the address of the Brotherhood. Nothing immediately catches your eye. The shadows do seem to match the shape of the people they belong to. You're not hearing any particular jewelry that doesn't seem to line up with what you see moving before you. Using your keen elf eyes to try to discern fiction from reality. But everything seems to line up. The majority of the people that you see passing are human and halfling through this particular area. You don't notice any particular dragonborn coming out from the streets. The rest of it seems pretty consistent with the rest of the city that you've passed through.
Cool. Well, after hanging out there for a little while and just scoping out the area and what I see and what I want, I'll start making my way back towards where I left Celix and Val. As I feel their conversations might be wrapping up, I'll make my way back.
All right. We'll go ahead and we'll pause there with the three of y'all. We'll get to Val in the Temple of the Traveler here in just a moment. But we'll jump over to Kazator and Rai and Doran.
No.
As y'all were headed to the library. Is that right?
Yeah.
A library. We're headed to a library.
You're headed to the library. The library here in Whitebrand.
Yes.
Which, Kazator, putting things together from where you had gone last night, is in the eastern part of the city, up in the district known as the Stone Tower District. Almost due east on the other side of the larger oasis from the temple area in the Old Quarter. There is a large building that extends to either side, and then almost like a T shape, an upside down T shape, where it comes to either side, and then there's a section of it that goes back with two sort of L-shaped buildings that form a courtyard on either side of it. The main entrance to this particular library is open at this point, and there is the symbol of Ioun proudly carved, displayed in the doorway.
Lauren, as we're traveling, I'm going to try and help Doran with learning a little bit more Infernal by singing Dwarven drinking songs in Infernal.
Very nice. Rai, make a performance check. Doran, an intelligence check.
Why you always pick on me? Do I get any kind of advantage or not? That's just straight, right?
This is just a straight roll.
All right, so 2 minus 1.
21.
So, Rai, your song is engaging and entertaining, and you capture Doran's attention so well. The sound of the words do nothing to disguise the type of song it is. And Doran, you have lots of experience with drinking songs. You're very familiar with these, and you get caught up with the music,
Cheers,
the chorus, and participating with it. And you are so distracted. There's just the language and the actual sound of the words just flows over you. You're not really able to catch anything in particular.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, huh? Yeah, there's a bird. That's what it is. I got them bottles in my bag.
I tried.
You did. It was wonderful. It was delightful music, entertaining for all three of you as you head to this library.
Yay!
Okay, you arrive and you head on in, and it is a larger foyer area with wings that feed off to either side, and then to the back there's a barrier, a wall that is not guarded per se, but watched. You guessed that that's where some of the more rare tomes might be. There is a desk, and there are three humans, who are sitting at this desk. And as you approach, he's like, welcome to the library. How may we be of assistance?
Just a note that I'm keeping an eye out for, again, anything that would make me think that my family has been here or is around.
Okay.
Yes, hello. We are new to this city and connoisseurs of the written word, and I was wondering if you might direct me to something of local lore and history.
Telling lies already.
Nothing I said was a lie.
Nope.
All of us are connoisseurs of the written word.
I am? Well, okay. Sorry, Doran.
Yeah, right?
You're getting lumped in.
Yeah.
2 out of 3, like.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, if you can't laugh at yourself.
The one human that had spoken to you stands up. Of course, by all means, please, this way. And gestures for you to follow. Leading you to the left, there is the bookshelves start fairly low, shoulder height, head height, and as they go farther back, they start growing until at the back, they are full floor-to-ceiling tomes. They lead you to a little bit of an offshoot. This is the section here on local lore and mythology, and if you're looking more in the geography and geology area, 2 shelves over and then 1 shelf back. Those will be the areas that you'll be looking for. If we may help you in any other way, please do come and let us know. So go ahead and roll an investigation check to see what you actually find here.
Would I do that as well?
Yeah.
If you like, or one of y'all can do it at advantage.
Investigation?
Investigation.
Does Jordan's sage background help at all?
Do what?
Does your
My
sage
sage just
background
lets me know
help?
where to find information.
Oh.
It's my sage background says that if I don't know information, I at least know where to find it. So
You
I
have
assume
found
that would
the
be
library.
at the library.
I'm gonna breathe in deeply and go, smells like home. I got a 26.
I'm just gonna roll for funsies. Hey, wow, I got a 12. -1
I
for
got a
investigation.
7.
That's 11.
Alright. So, Doran and Kazator, y'all get a little bit distracted. Doran, you find this book about various wildlife and different creatures here, and it's fascinating, actually. But Rai, you find probably the most expansive history, and it's actually not disguised, but it's in the form of a genealogy of the history and leaders of Whitebrand, and it goes through and describes the various challenges that each of them have faced, and the various sorts of monsters, and the Great Fire, and the drought of...
Everything more recent than 20 years is ripped out.
any reference to any sort of underworld or criminal dealings, even older than that, has been ripped out. The book it was published about 20 years ago, you guess. That's as recent as it gets.
Beautiful, darling. Take a look at this. And I'll show you.
I'd take a look.
my tiptoes so I can try and look.
I think it might behoove us to find out if there's others who've been inquiring to this part of the library recently.
Indeed. It makes me nervous that if they were intentionally removed by the library or the government.
That is a good question.
If we're going to bring on unwanted scrutiny by inquiring.
Excellent question. Yeah, I have a method for it. And I'll see if I can find the librarian.
Interested to watch.
Alright. They're not hard to find. The one that you had spoken to that had led you to this area is back with one of the others at the sort of main help desk area, for lack of a better word. It seems like the third is off reshelving some of the books that had been filled out and investigated at this point.
Hello, yes, I'm sorry. Can I inquire with you for a moment? We're having a bit of difficulty.
Absolutely, please. What is your problem?
Yes, so we are on a mission. My lord to the south, he has asked us while we were up here to maybe inquire. There's a woman. There's a woman who is interested in possibly pursuing betrothal, and she claims her family is from this area, but we have yet to find any information regarding them. And one of the books that I thought would give us a bit of a lead, it looks like the last 20 years have been ripped out. And so I was hoping perhaps you might be able to take a look at this, direct us to other volumes that might be useful in this regard, and perhaps maybe if we can find out who caused such unfortunate destruction to a book, of all things, perhaps we may be able to inquire with them to see if we can just take a look at the pages to get a bit of information.
Oh, certainly. You say a book has been damaged. Oh, that's horrible.
Yes, horrible, yes. Most unfortunate. And all we're doing is just trying to confirm the actual lineage of this woman. You know, with lords, they cannot just marry anybody. They must be of correct lineage, and many people will come just saying anything about this.
Oh, absolutely. Do make a deception check for me.
Is that true, Lord Casator?
Duke Casator, thank you.
Remember, he's the big dookie.
But at seeing the ripped up book, can I invoke my new feat, the Wrath of Rissa?
Tell me that's real.
Oh, that's canon. That is total canon.
13.
Very, very powerful summoning spell.
That's okay. Her insight was a 2. So she rolled a 2 for her insight. That is simply awful. Please do show me where this book was. We'll see if we can, I don't know, perhaps repair it. Have you found the pages? Are they there?
No, darling. That's why we're inquiring. We haven't been able to find them.
That's truly awful. By all means, do show me. I'll see what I can find for you. So you show her the book? Mm-hmm. All right. So she goes through and, oh, this is just awful.
Yes, it's most unfortunate. We haven't been able to find anything out about this woman either.
Do you have a name? A particular family that she came from?
The family name, darling.
Duchess Caesarina.
I was trying to go Silver, but that's so much better.
The Duchess Caesarina.
Yes.
I'm afraid I'm not familiar with that. Let's see if we can find it in the records. She
All I
leaves
heard
actually
was
different section of various like marriage certificates and birth certificates and death certificates, lineages, things of that nature. So, no, we do maintain this for the nobility here. And of course, they all have their own records. Of course, this is not a comprehensive record, but we may be able to find some mention in here. And so she starts looking through. Go ahead and roll an investigation check.
No.
While this is going on, Dorn's feeling a little useless, so he's gonna wander off. Not like leave, but just to a different shelf in the library.
Okay.
We'll get to it in a
We'll
minute.
get with that in just a moment.
18.
When she's talking, when she's looking at the book that has all the pages missing, do we get the feeling that she's genuinely surprised, or like she knows this has been intentionally redacted and is not allowed to say anything?
Make an insight check.
Boy, come on, that's a 3.
All right.
All right.
She seems, from what you
8?
can tell, she seems genuinely say what? 8?
Yeah, total of 8. Yeah.
Okay, awesome. She does seem genuinely surprised. Like this is a horrible thing. Who would dare damage a book like this? This is awful.
Those wicked fiends.
I just want to say
This is
that's
common in your library.
Oh, I certainly hope not. I mean, we do get occasional acts of vandalism, but this is awful. I mean, a whole section of the book, you say the last 20 years is just gone? Ah, for shame. So she goes and she throws you all the genealogies and she's looking through Caserina. You said that was the family name? You're quite certain?
Yes. Go ahead, Jordan. Sorry.
I believe Caserina was her given name. The family name was not that.
It was Celebad, darling. Caserina Celebad.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Certainly. So she shelves that book and moves a little ways down the shelf and starts pulling out another, almost like ledger, and starts flipping through it. I'm afraid I just don't see it. I'm so sorry. Your poor lord appears to have been duped. I mean, I can find no record of this family or this individual in the city. Oh, I'm so sorry.
Thank you so much, darling. You had mentioned that just because we do need to be thorough about this matter, you can understand these people who claim they're from families, they can make such a fuss, darling. So you said that sometimes families keep their own records. Who might we go to inquire about that?
Oh, that would be on their own, in their own houses, their own private libraries in the Heights. I'm afraid the district is closed unless you have paperwork permitting you entrance.
Thank you, darling. Thank you very much.
Oh, you're quite welcome. If you are in fact permitted to the Heights, I'm sure your lord has access. Do not get me wrong. I'm such a dignified lord, such estimable envoys such as yourself.
Yeah.
If you head to the north, you'll find one of the main gateways into the Heights, and I'm sure you speak with the guards, and they will put all your paperwork in order, and you can go see the houses in particular and speak to their representatives, and I'm sure they'd be willing to work with you.
Thank you very much, darling. And there's nowhere else where we could perhaps find some local histories that would give us some of the information?
I mean, you're welcome to peruse the remainder of the historical section that we have here, but I mean, the genealogies are going to be far more current and up to date than most of the histories, I'm afraid. Still, you're welcome to look if you would like.
I have to ask. I'm curious. The section that seems to be more restricted is that the reference section where books are not allowed to be checked out of, or is there certain qualifications that are required to gain access?
Those tomes contain more, shall we say, off-limits information. Certain arcane tomes and various more dangerous works, shall we say. They're not entirely off-limits,
Read those
but
before we leave.
you must...
Oh, sorry. That was out of character. Go ahead.
We do not let just anyone off the streets in there. There must be some permissions obtained first.
Yes.
That is very intriguing. Where might one obtain these permissions?
Well, any number of places. If you were to go to the Hall of Justice, perhaps, or speak with any of the... Well, there are a number of individuals who could provide you access. It depends, I suppose, on what exactly you're looking for.
Oh, as I said, we are just travelers who enjoy collecting knowledge, and was just curious what kind of tomes might be back there. Anything restricted to the public is always, as you understand, more intriguing than the general books out in the common areas. So I was simply curious what was back there, and if it was something that a traveler like myself might gain access to under supervision, or if it was something that I should not bother spending the time seeking out.
You must understand, darling, we're from a very, very small little area, a small little duchy, country lords, and so we don't have a library like this. So seeing something like my companion, he's a scholar, and it excites him so much, darling, you must understand.
I do understand. It is so nice to see the value of knowledge truly appreciated. Absolutely. Unfortunately, as I said, this is not an area that is quite open to the public. You must receive permissions to be in that area. But by all means, continue to peruse this public area to your heart's content. If you have any other further questions, I can direct you to various sections and perhaps help you find a book if you're looking for.
I would just one final question. An acquaintance of mine, actually a fairly close relation, that also enjoys circulating through and finding knowledge, and is a bit more affluent than I. The Veritas family. Are you familiar with them?
Veritas. No, I can't say that I am.
Very well. They must not have been through this area yet.
Insight check.
Make an insight check.
Oh, that's good. 22.
22. She seems to be quite literal in she couldn't say that she was. That there was something else that the brightening in her eyes and a certain change in her demeanor did seem to suggest some emotional reaction to that name.
Okay.
Oh man.
Just so I need to chat with my companions for a moment just to see if we need to further discuss this, further pursue it. But I did have a question, darling. You had mentioned a couple other histories. Where would we potentially be looking at those if we did want to inquire?
Local histories, just a shelf or two in this direction from the lore where you were searching. If you're wanting something on a more wider scale, just she gestures to one of the other larger shelves in the back of that area, right over there.
Lovely, darling. Thank you very, very much for your assistance.
Oh, you're quite welcome. Please do let me know if I can assist you in any other way.
And I will wait until she gets far enough out of earshot to turn around to them and be like, Kingsborough, darling, I'm not sure what the inquiry was about, but I would not go quite so far as to say she was lying through her teeth, but there's more to the situation. So do we want to look at these history books?
I think it might be worth an inquiry at least. Even without the currency of the genealogy, it sounds like, from the information we've gathered, that this... why can I never remember the stupid folder's name? It's in my notes.
Underlord.
Thank you. Also on one of these pages. The Underlord seems to have been around for a while, so it seems reasonable that he might appear in one of these volumes.
Yes, Darlene, do we need to look for this other name while we're at it that you have just recently discussed?
Veritas? No, that is not, I would imagine, going to be found in any of these books.
Oh, very interesting, because she was very intrigued by that name, but...
Yes, I say
Ignore
that.
him and do it anyways.
It would be intriguing to see if they were mentioned in the genealogy, but they will not be found in reference to the library as they once were. But I would be intrigued to go through this genealogy that we have and see if they are mentioned.
With the 26 that I rolled previously, did I see anything?
That was specifically for her. If you are keeping an eye on Kazator and his reactions, this would be a new roll. This would be a contested roll.
I
Kazator,
think she meant the investigation check within the tome.
Yes.
Oh, within the tome? Okay. No, this would still be a new roll.
Okay.
Can we both look through it?
Yeah, sure.
Hey, that's the highest roll of the day. 12 plus. Oh, is this investigation?
This is actually trying to find any other book specifically relevant to information that you're looking for.
Would I be able to give him any sort of assistance since I went through it previously?
This is the same genealogy book?
We were going to look through the genealogy book for anything related to the Veritas family.
Okay, if it's the same book, yeah, for sure. So you go through the genealogy book. What was the total roll?
13.
13. You go through and you're fairly confident. I mean, the book is pretty straightforward, and it's alphabetized by last name. You're not finding anything in particular related to your family.
Cool.
So I guess we'll go over to the histories.
All right. Yeah. Well, y'all move back over to the histories. Mr. Doran.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing, sir?
So, listening to them, I think it was after Mr. Ted or whatever the fake name was. After hearing that, it's like, yeah, they're gonna do this now. So, and he was feeling like he wasn't gonna be useful for this, and it's like, so he goes and wanders off, and he's thinking about like, okay, I'm not really good at this part. I can't seem to find this information, and so he's going through that, like he doesn't know what good he is here. So then he starts thinking about what he is good at, and then he gets back to making stuff. So he's gonna go he wants to look for books about smithing, weapons, armor. He wants to look for legends. He wants to look for legends and stuff like that. He's trying to find inspiration, find some ideas. And imagining that this is a library, if there's paper that he can use, like jot some notes down.
Mm-hmm.
Or information about putting magic effects on weapons. That stuff.
So we'll
something that he can do.
You do get help being pointed into the correct section of the library for books dealing about various crafting and blacksmithing in particular, and there you do find a couple of books that are almost talking about mythology of various magically imbued weapons, like these descriptions and these heroic tales, and there's one book you find that as you're starting to flip through it and just getting the very general gist of it, is a collection of stories and then a breakdown of the weapons of those stories, the heroes of old and the sorts of weapons that they would do, and then it suggests possible enchantments that are imbued in those weapons, and the types of crafting that it would have took. A suggestion of entirely hypothetical and theoretical. There's a section of one of the books you find that is sort of a scientific treatise on various alloys and their strengths and weaknesses, why some are posited to be better for arrowheads versus spearheads, and the suggested techniques for shaping them differently. There's a technical tome that you find that actually goes into great detail about the technique of folding steel to make it harder and more durable, to hold an edge better. So there are a number of things that you could choose to spend your time looking at. What are you wanting to look at in particular?
Sorry. So the options you presented were effects on weapons, different types of metals, and then like technique of making the metal, like the folding and stuff. Those are like the three things.
And then there's connected to the first one is sort of the heroic tales and the descriptions of the weapons included there.
Okay. I think since he's already a decent blacksmith, the folding metal, not so much. The effects and the legends is more what he's looking for.
Okay. So you go ahead and you start sitting with this book, and it seems to focus on a period of time about 600 years ago, where there seems to be a large conflict on this world, a sort of a great war that's called the Shadowing, and there are a number of heroic characters that seem to be central to these events. And as you're reading through, you notice that the primary heroes of this story are Dragonborn, and it talks briefly about one in particular. Oh, computer, don't go to sleep.
Wake up, compy.
Wake up! Alright. It talks about the hero Zalazar.
How in the world do I spell that?
Zelasar.
Okay.
And he was a gold dragonborn. In the service to Bahamut, and it describes his triumphs in the battle, of how he slayed so many foes in the battle of such and such, and he killed so many in this other battle. And it's going through, and these names and these places don't mean anything to you.
I'm not from here.
Not exactly. You're not from here. But he was a mighty foe.
Mm.
And it talks specifically about his weapons and gives special weight to his sword, his halberd, not the person, but the weapon, and his armor, as having a special enchantment that when all three are united, presented a greater magic, a greater sum of the whole than when each of them were used individually.
Cool. Neato. So you Voltron those weapons and you get more awesomeness.
Essentially.
Okay. He's jotting a bunch of crap down.
One of the things that catches your attention here, specifically about this tale, is it lists the supposed location of his tomb, where the weapons are, as it says, waiting for a worthy one to retrieve them and put them to use back in the world.
Okay.
I like cool weapons. Those are fun.
Those are very fun.
You know.
Yeah, but it requires a worthy one. A worthy one.
Look at me. Look at me. I'm super worthy. Come on.
And so
There's a
humble
reason
too.
she gave it to Doran.
Seek the owl, the diamond in the rough.
The dwarf in the rough? Doubt.
Dwarf is the
The
rough.
dwarf has a cool weapon, okay? The dwarf made a cool weapon.
Only when drink him rough. No, wait. Also in battle. Them him rough.
I'm sure in exchange,
I'm gonna
Doran
stop
would
talking now. This is
give
getting
you
weird.
his weapon.
I would totally take his awesome axe thing. 100%.
Big choppy. Okay, this is very, very good information. And like I said, I imagine it's a library. They might have, fantasy sticky notes. I can jot all this down. So,
They have some parchment and some paper that you can use. Pen and ink are available.
fantastic. I do that.
Was there
And you did it?
by
Did it
any
have
chance
kind of,
just legend about where his tomb was?
That's
I'm just
literally what
curious.
I
I
was
wasn't there. Dude, great minds.
gonna. Yeah, like as you're talking over me, I was trying to ask that. Because it said, you said that it said something about the location and that it was waiting for the worthy person. But did it actually say the location or a general idea of the location?
It describes it as the heart of the Scorchlands.
Cool.
Wait, are we? Where are we?
You're in Whitebrand.
Obviously, but we're in a desert. Is the desert the Scorchlands or the Scorchlands to the south? I don't remember. I don't have the map.
I found a mini quest everyone wants to do.
The desert to the north is known as the Scorchlands, or the Scorchland Desert.
Desert trek. I'm resistant to
We are
fire.
never leaving this.
We're all gonna die
planet.
out in the desert looking for something and none of us will find it.
So it's supposed to be
TPK,
doing
desert.
Indiana Jones.
Ba, 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 ba.
Do you ever TPK your party because they're lost in the desert?
We almost found the golden
Wandering in the wilderness for 40 years.
It's okay. Val and I can create food and water. We'll be fine.
Yeah.
Just gonna alchemy us some food out of the sand.
You just can't add age to your life.
Cool. Well, I'll take all that information and I'll stow it away. Because I imagine
Okay.
at this point I'm hearing the other two done with their stuff, unless I have time
The
to
other
look
two at
through
this
another
point
book.
are starting to finish up.
Okay.
So real quick, other two. You headed to the history section. What are you looking for in particular?
That's them, right?
Stuff on the Underlord.
You're trying to find any information you can, any mention of the Underlord?
Halbert, the information that you relayed to us about the Underlord from your conversation, was there anything early on, other names, anything that you had a conversation with, I think it was Soren? About the Underlord, right?
Hold on, you're gonna make
I mean,
me
it's
go look.
all but confirmed at this point. Homeboy is definitely a scary eyeball monster. So
I'm not looking for specific references about the Underlord. I'm looking more for any references about something terminal or something related to the northwest of Whitebrand. So, like,
I was looking.
the outside clues.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye out for like the actual name. I don't figure it's going to be in a library book, but I guess the specifics of what I'm looking for are some entity that's mentioned that people are beholden to, bringing gifts to, or some entity outside the city that is causing a stir or worth attention.
Okay.
Whatever name it may be going under.
Each of y'all make an investigation check.
Okay, I just want to say I've rolled 9 times today, and it took 9 rolls to get above an 8.
I guess I'm with them again.
Not at this point just yet.
Oh, okay, never mind.
That's a 17.
I also got a 17.
Whoa.
Nice.
I rolled a natural 16 for that, though. You probably rolled like a 12.
9. But
okay.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So 17. As y'all are going through books and finding various tomes that you think might hold the information you're looking for, you're finding very little, actually. You are finding a couple more instances of single pages being torn out of books, where things have been crossed through and censored, basically. You are finding some information of in a tome about the it's almost like a not a bestiary, but not zoology, but an old collection of various types of creatures, where you're going, and you are specifically about the highlands to the northwest. You do find a brief mention of various aberrations that have been seen, and this is dated about 60 or so years ago, that people have been noticing a little warning to travelers in there. There's a note about an increase in aberrations in their presence in these highlands, and that's about as close to specific as you can get to the Underlord.
Joyous day, Kalukale.
Okay. Logistical question about the library.
Yes.
Where this room of restricted tomes, if I'm looking at an aerial shot, like where is it? Is it like a central room to the library? Does it have an exterior wall?
Who's up for a book heist?
Not a heist necessarily. And this is Plan B, but I'm just getting information.
Bandit strikes again.
a hawk bandit strikes again.
Man, you don't be talking
It's the
about
Fox Hawk Bandit now,
Literally
just saying.
Hawks flying around above me right now.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, I'd show you, but y'all probably wouldn't get to see it, and it would look awful on stream. But they're there. It's real.
That's so cool.
It's so cool. Jordan, don't hurt me. I didn't do it.
Okay, so
No send
and you
minions
also
at
have a
me.
little drawing.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. The front area here is where the public section is.
Yep.
The private section is somewhere back in this area. There's a gate about here, even with that wall, that they're not letting you past.
You need to get the long, skinny one so you can like clear out a bunch of rows.
All of that back section of the T, the stem of the T, is restricted.
Yes.
Okay.
Very interesting.
How far from the wall is the gate around the library? Because the gate goes all the way around there, if I remember.
The sort of library compound backs up close to the oasis in the back. So you didn't get to go around and you didn't get to see the actual back side of it.
Okay.
If you wanted to scope it out and get a little bit more research on the outside, that's something you could definitely do.
What is the oasis? Do we know what that is?
Give me just a minute. I will take a picture and send it to you. Actually, here. I don't know if y'all are going to be able to get the level of detail on this. I'll show y'all, but I'll also get a picture and post that for you.
Okay.
Can you see the big spot here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the main oasis of the city. The library is over here, and it backs up right against it.
Okay, I see. Yeah. Okay, so there's a gap there. Okay, great. And the oasis, is that whole thing water, or is that trees and water? Okay, that is water.
As far as you can tell.
Okay, sure.
There's trees and various greenery that grow around it, but
yeah, that's good enough for now. Rye, is there anything else you wanted to look at in the library?
Well, I have nothing I need to look for. I suppose we should figure out what Doran's been.
Yes, we should find Doran, and then I'd be interested to see what's in the restricted area. I have a couple of potential options we can discuss, and I would maybe like your input on.
Oh, darling, I love this idea.
So I guess first we'll go find Doran.
You are speaking my love language. I'll use the monocle of locate object to find Doran.
I'm not I'm a people.
You definitely get a little ping on your radar, shall we say. He's not hard to find. He's just finishing up his notes at this time.
I'm just using one charge to see if I can find the fancy runic armor that he has acquired.
Yeah.
And then
you managed to locate.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, you do manage to locate him.
While I have it out, just for fun, I would like to use it again to try and locate creature to see if Renan just happens to be anywhere nearby.
You do not get any sense that Renan is nearby.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So she's got a fancy monocle she pulls out and puts on, and she goes, "Oh, he's that way, darling."
I give you a curious look and just tuck that away for later. We'll go find Doran.
That has all the cool stuff.
Rise the librarian. We'll go ahead and we'll pause with y'all here for just a moment. Val.
She's like the Swiss Army magic gadget.
When you had left, you had just put your cloak up over your head and were leaving the Temple of Sani to head to a smaller dwelling off to the side.
You should make up your mind which deity you like best. Just be consistent, yo.
He's shopping around.
Things about this particular building is that most of the buildings and temples around here have various square doorways. This one has an arch.
Still cracking up. I'll make my way inside.
Great. You head on inside, and you don't see anyone initially. It's not like a normal temple. It's very different from the Temple of Sani that you saw there. It was fairly structured and fairly ordered, and it was clear which area had a purpose for what. Here, it's a little bit scattered, a little bit more chaotic. There's a... You look at the floor, and there's a... not quite a mandala, and not quite a painted labyrinth, but a sort of winding pathway that starts at the front and seems to lead you to various areas in certain order through the grounds of the temple.
All right, I'll go exploring. Literally have no idea what I'm doing here.
You walk along the path that is set before you, and it's not like there's no barrier, there's no barricade, nothing that would prevent you from leaving it if you chose to. But as you walk, there's a certain peace that seems to settle over you, and a calm that comes and sort of comforts. It leads you from little station to little station, and there's little sayings at the first, or as you approach the first station, you see there's a little saying, and it's on a piece of paper set in front of a candle, and it says, or it guides you to meditate about the path that you have walked, where your previous travels have taken you from, and to think about the progress you have made that has brought you to this point. Invites you to light a candle and spend a moment in meditation, and then the path continues on to another station, where it thinks about it guides you to think about the people who you know, who are traveling, who are distant from you. And at this, there is a little a little bowl of water and a tiny little figure of a ship that's just floating, bobbing around in this little bowl of water, just kind of aimlessly drifting. And then the path continues to the next station. And there are about half a dozen stations that it leads you through, guiding you to think about various aspects of traveling and journeys. And there's no one else in the room. There's no particular instruction that you get, no particular guidance that you get, apart from just these little meditations.
All right. Once as I go along, I'll light each of the candles and just kind of go through and observe the meditation, the rituals. When I get to the end, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. Basically, what I'm looking for is like either an altar or, sorry, there's a fly in there. Some sort of altar or something to the traveler.
As you're going and you're traveling from little station to station, you get the sense that this particular building is itself its own sort of altar. Like there's no one designated place, but that the path that you take and the meandering that you go through is designed to guide your mind and bring you closer to the traveler himself.
All right, so just trying to visualize this. So I'm getting winding path. Does the end of the path, does it kind of loop back around?
It loops back to the entrance. Yeah.
Okay. So once I get back to the entrance, I'm actually going to step off the path into the center of the temple.
Okay. And what do you do?
I'm going to pull out some incense. And pull up a little traveler's symbol. And I'm going to take some silver pieces, or some silver coins, and lay them out to where they replicate the traveler symbol. And use enough of them to basically be 25 gold pieces.
Okay.
and cast divination.
Okay. I am down with this.
Crap.
You have no idea this is going on.
Albert doesn't, but Jonathan does.
Right?
Right?
Albert feels a disturbance
Albert has
in the forest.
Yes. I just have some perpetual nightmares in while I'm awake. It's happening.
His spidey sense is tingling.
Val! No!
See, the funny thing is, never mind. I'll get to that later.
Okay. So you ask a single question concerning a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within the next 7 days.
Oh. Alright, how do I want to ask this? I seek a gift.
Don't sell your soul.
That even the traveler would beware. Where may I find this gift?
Oh, wow. Good question.
If I should break the DM.
Good question. There's so many ways to take this. Okay.
I tried to leave you an open door. Not intentionally.
Okay. Oh. Oh gosh.
What guide you is?
Okay. You set up your ritual, and there is a brief mist that seems to rise from the floor, and it gives everything inside a greenish cast. The components of the ritual are consumed, disintegrated and seemingly absorbed into the mist. And as the mist seems to fade, you feel a weight on your shoulders as the hands are pressing down. And a voice in your ear says, "A gift even I would beware." Such a thing is most interesting. Think of what you hold most dear. And imagine Imagine something that brings you that satisfaction. Something that seems to grant all your heart's wishes at once. Such a thing, if it truly exists, is something I would indeed beware. As for its location, ask your elven friends. The hands lift off of your shoulders, and
You're gonna have to give up the puzzle before you finish it.
and the divine presence is diminished.
The traveler said I need your puzzle. That's gonna go over real well with Halbert. Hey, the traveler told me I need your puzzle.
So, question about that.
Wielding deities.
I do believe I was mentioned at the end of that conversation, but I heard maybe a third of what you said. So I actually missed all of that. So if there's something I need to know about, cool. And if not, that's also cool. I just wanted to know if there was something I needed to know.
Nothing that you need to know in particular. At this, it was the traveler speaking briefly about you, or about Val's elven friends. But you weren't there and you don't know about it. So Val can bring it up to you at some point and explain it.
Cool.
Yeah, that's gonna go over well.
Yep.
That's amazing.
Yeah. So Val,
Hair in the face.
Say what? Hair in your face. Gotcha. You finish up in the temple, and about the time that you come out, you see Solyax and Halberd, who have found each other in this while you were performing this ritual. They are coming up the street towards you.
Do I see him leave the Temple of the Traveler?
Well, at this particular point,
Say what?
at this particular point, you would see a hooded figure.
Even better.
Did you just try to play the DM? Just curious.
No, I'm just reminding that I still have my my hood up.
Your hood up.
That's fine.
Yeah. Make a perception check, Halberd. Val, if you're trying to hide who you are, or if you're trying to hide your presence in particular, make a stealth check for me.
Please make a stealth check.
Oh, I'm not as good at stealth. I forgot about that part. 24.
28.
I had to roll a nat 20 to get that.
I didn't.
Wow. Okay. So Val, your hood is up, and you're not in your normal armor. Your appearance is different. And as you see Halberd and Solyax walking up the street towards you, you turn your face away so that they aren't necessarily realizing who exactly you are. Halberd, you see a hooded figure come out of this building, and there's something really familiar about the way he's walking, and the way he carries himself, and how he's moving.
What's up, Val?
That's Val.
Sorry. Back in character now. All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
It's okay. I'm super hard to spot.
I guess the question would be, I guess the question I should have asked first was, did I notice them?
Yes, you did notice them.
Okay.
They're
Nope. I'm super hard to spot.
not subtle.
No, that's fair.
Sneaky. I'm invisible. If I don't move, they can't see me.
Calm down, Drax.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
I've been having a marathon.
Yeah, in that particular case, I'll head around the corner, change my outfit, and walk back out.
Alright. So, Halberd and Soyix, you briefly see a figure disappear from view around a corner, this figure that had come out of the temple. And then walking out from behind that corner is Val, back in his normal armor, his normal appearance.
Wonderful. Well, I suppose we should head back to the tavern. It's about time to meet up with everyone else, get some lunch, and then figure out what to do.
Nope, you froze there. I lost you.
Nope. Well, can you hear me? We're going back to the tavern. If there's no arguments.
Nope.
Wonderful. To the tavern, then.
Awesome.
For
brevity's sake, we'll go ahead and we'll say everybody meets back up at the tavern. And it looks like we're having some audio and some tech issues. Y'all's videos keep flashing out here on my... So shall we go ahead and call it a day there and pick back up at this point next week?
I think that's a good point.
Yeah,
sure.
I will say I was not headed back to the tavern after the library, though.
Okay. So
Of course,
Ryan
things easy was never work for you.
and Doran, are y'all staying with Kazator, or are y'all heading back to the tavern to reunite with the group?
I mean, did he tell us what he's doing?
Yeah, like I'm gonna have a conversation with y'all once we get outside the tavern, and y'all can. I mean, outside the library.
Well, we're meeting back at noon, so you if it depending on your timeline, if it's not, yeah, at midday we're gonna meet up for lunch. So if it's not midday yet, we're not expecting you.
I'm never late. Everyone else is just early.
Close to that.
Say again, Lauren.
It's getting pretty close to midday. So Kazator can definitely stay at the library and investigate some more if he would like. But that will make y'all late for the meeting back at the tavern. That's up to y'all.
Okay.
I'm willing to be entertained by whatever it is Kazator would like to be doing. He has intrigued me.
If he's gonna get himself into trouble, I'll hang out and make sure to drag him out if I can.
Okay. So we'll go ahead and we'll pick up at the point that Ryan, Kazator, and Doran are starting to investigate the outside of the library and maybe plan a little bit of a heist of some kind. And Soyix, Halberd, and Halberd. Soyix and Halberd and Val. Halberd and Halberd. Oh my gosh. Soyix and Halberd and Val are heading back to the tavern, they think, to reunite with their group.
Let's go pick a fight, guys.
This will be fun. Guess we'll watch once the return of the infamous Hawk Bandit once again. This time for books.
This can go no way but good.
It's like in the movie when you got that character who doesn't want to be part of the hype. Yeah, that's what I'm gonna be. Like, we're gonna get in trouble, man.
Oh, good game, y'all. Good game. Thank y'all for joining us, for coming along on this adventure with us. Gosh, it's just good to see everybody. It's good to spend this time together. I really appreciate it. Those of y'all who have tuned in to watch, thank you again. We will see you next week. Stay safe, stay healthy, wash your hands. We keep saying that. I know everybody's hearing that everywhere, but seriously.
Do it.
Yeah. Good to see y'all guys.
And maybe soon we'll be back at the table.
Week at this time. Hey, what?
Said maybe soon we'll be back at the table again and life will be easy.
Hopefully. Hopefully.
So much.
I know.
For Jordan.
No, I love you guys.
He chose
Seriously,
his
I miss
You,
y'all
you
so
must all
much.
suffer with me.
Oh, Jordan, I do feel your I don't know, I don't want to call it pain, because this is definitely better than not meeting with everybody, but it's not the same.
It's not. And at least Jordan chose his. We got told ours.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Jordan made his bed and now we have to lie in it.
I just heard we're all sleeping with Jordan, and I'm not sure how I feel about this.
I heard
not-
that Jordan is the one who started this whole virus
Buy me
thing.
dinner first.
That's what I got.
I'm
Because apparently this virus is my
stupid.
fault. Because I moved to Utah.
Some
leave God's country.
combination thereof.
Okay.
no.
Well, on that note.
And on that note,
Miss you guys.
I miss you guys. It really was good to see y'all. Even though
Yeah.
it's only just seeing. It's so far away!
I can almost touch you.
Well, I guess until next week then. Next week.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll listen.
Next. Oh, we're doofuses. We are doofuses. It's delightful.
Well, we'll see y'all next week.
Yep.
Yeah.
Bye.
Goodbye.